Okay, so what we're talking about here tonight is non-duality and twin flames and the energetic shift that happens with non-duality and the story about twin flames. And I don't know, Shannon, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a couple questions that some of the viewers had to ask, and I wanted to just bring it up to you. Um, okay, so let's see. Okay, so this was one that I was really interested in. So, how do you know if they are my real twin flame and I'm not just delusional? I low key think I'm going crazy.
Well, in the story, there is such thing as a twin flame, okay? Apparently. But it's really all just an illusion. And even being delusional is an illusion. Um, I mean, apparently these things do happen, but and I don't know why they do. I don't know why all these things are appearing to happen like they do when you apparently meet your twin flame. But it's all just the story. It's the dream. And once you wake up, it's noticed. Apparently, when you wake up, it's noticed. But it's just the illusion, and there is no such thing as a fake twin flame or a twin flame or a karmic. That's all just made up. It's a facade. And it's sad because a lot of people really get attached to the story and they get stuck in this vicious cycle believing that there is such thing as a twin flame.
So, what would you tell somebody that is in the story, hasn't had a non-dual realization, and tells you there's nothing I can do? I I continue to believe that it's real, and I continue to believe that there's union. I continue to believe that they're going to come back. What would you say to that?
Nothing. There's nothing you can do. I mean, realizing that it's all just the story will happen when it happens. Um, it will end when it ends. There's no telling on how and when that just falls off, apparently. It just falls off on its own, and there's nowhere where it says that this is when it's gonna happen.
So, you had a twin flame, you had three. How did the twin flame story somehow bring you to a non-dual realization?
Okay, so I was seeking a lot. Um, I kept trying to get there. I kept trying to reach for something. I have become very spiritual at one time, believing that that would help me come into union with my twin flame. And I don't even know what that is anymore. I don't even know what a union, there's no such thing as union. You're already it, right? But I just kept seeking and wanting. I wanted to know when it was gonna happen. And I don't know, it's like I started watching a lot of non-dual speakers and I couldn't stop watching them. It's like I had to binge watch them, even though I didn't understand what I was watching. There was a resonation there, an energetic resonation there somehow, some way. And eventually realization happened. I I woke up from it all, from the whole twin flame story, spirituality, religion, life in general. I just apparently woke up, and it was just something that naturally happened on its own. And in the
Yeah,
story, you would call it waking up, right? But I don't even know what that is, but it's the only way to identify with what apparently happened.
so do you think that the twin flame was a catus, what is it called? It, what's the word? Catastol? What is
Catalyst, a
catalyst?
catalyst to the awakening.
Yeah,
That's just the story.
that's just the
I used
story.
to believe that. I used to believe that there was such thing as the twin flame being a catalyst to the awake to wake up, for the person to wake up. But even that's just the story. I don't know. That's just it. I don't know what you call it and why all of those things appeared to happen the way they did. There's really no
Because
telling.
yeah, because like in the illusion, there's time and space, and one thing leads to another, but I don't know how other way to explain it, but in non-duality, there's just this, and there's nothing that's leading up to this, and it's just all, there's no reason or meaning of why it's happening. And I feel like in the illusion, a lot of people take the spiritual path and the twin flame path as a way to get closer to God and get closer to this phenomenal lover, right? This end all be all fantasy, man or woman, whatever it is. And the seeking is the same. The seeking is the same as seeking God, seeking them, seeking something outside of yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all the same. There's no difference. And sometimes I see how spiritual people somehow look down on twin flame people, um like they're weird, because it's like a person they're seeking. But all seeking is seeking. It doesn't matter. You could be seeking this big career, seek what doesn't matter, seeking this perfect body. It's it's all of it. It's the same thing. So I have one more question from a viewer. Hold on, let me look it up. And so it says, what was the first sign that introduced you to twin flames, made you think that they are your twin flame?
After talking with my friend, and hearing what she had to say about the connection that she was in, and that is what made me want to seek out the story of twin flame. I went and I Googled it because I couldn't understand what was apparently happening to me. I couldn't understand why I had this obsessive thinking. I couldn't understand why I was seeing numbers and hearing songs play back to back to back like I was, and the birds happening, all that shit. I couldn't understand it. And when I spoke to my friend and she was telling me how she was going through the same thing, and she said it was a twin flame thing, that's what made me want to seek out and read up on it. And once I did that, the obsession became more than it ever was.
And the seeking just hit you really, really strong. And I think it happens to all of us, right? Like
Yes.
it's like honestly, it's insane. It feels like it hits you out of nowhere. And it's just a constant thoughts and obsessive thoughts. And you're never really like that with anybody else except this specific person, right? And then you're
Right.
seeing spiritual things and signs, and it's like just this path that's going, leading to nowhere.
It's a connection that you've never had with anyone, and it's completely really out of this world, because when you read up on twin flames, it says that you share one soul. Well, no one's ever heard of that before. Like, oh my God, I actually share my soul with somebody else. And it's sad because people really start to believe in that. And that's what gets them more stuck in the story, because they truly believe that they're one half soul and the twin is another half, and they're waiting to come into union. And it becomes this complete fantasy illusion, fairy tale. And they literally believe that they're the only ones. Well, they're like the chosen ones, right?
Yeah,
That have
that's how I
to,
felt.
right? And they have to come into this union with their twin flame so they can go on this epic mission to
Yeah,
save the fucking world.
I
To
forgot
save
about
the
that one.
fucking world, right? I
Yeah,
believed in all of that. I really did. I believed that that was the goal here, was to
yeah,
reach union with my twin flame. And once I woke up to all of it, I realized that all of it was just an illusion. It was just a story, because really there's no truth. There's nowhere where it says that that is the truth. The only thing we can actually go on is what people have wrote or coaches have told you. Teachers, coaches, fucking books. You can probably read books on twin flames, do tarot card readings. I don't fucking know. But none of those people really know the truth, really. They're only going off of what they're assuming it they think it is, because they're going off of what they feel, right? The energy that's apparently arising, or they're feeling, they're going off of that. They're going off of a notion, and they're writing about it. They're becoming teachers. I was one. They're becoming teachers. They're coaches, writing books, because they really believe in this whole story. And they're telling people that you have to do this and that, or you have to heal your chakras, or do this, or do yoga, fucking Reiki healing, who knows, to come into an alignment with who you are so that you and your twin flame can come into union. Anyways, it's all a bunch of mumbo jumbo. And once you wake up, you realize that it was all just a facade.
I probably came across someone that would say that it was a facade when I was on the journey. And I was like, oh, these people have no idea what I'm dealing with. So again, we're talking right now over this, podcast. You have to be ready to hear this message. This is not a message that's popular. You know, it's not a message for everybody to hear. It's a message for someone that is ready to really resonate with no self, resonate with the loss of spirituality, the loss of uh, having a twin flame. The seeking is slowly dying out, or whatever. I don't know how it's appearing to happen for everybody, but this message is not about just a regular twin flame story. Or we're really here talking about the loss of ever getting anything, whether it's your twin flame or enlightenment or whatever it is that you're seeking. So this message could be devastating. This message could be, you don't want to hear this message. And I just want to put that out there, because we're not being not optimistic about your twin flame. This is a whole nother story here that is about no story, it's about letting go of those stories. And I think when you're in the story, it's really, really hard to see it as a story, because you believe it so much, and you don't want to stop believing that story, because you want to have hope. But this is about having no hope, being hopeless, and going nowhere, because you don't really exist. So I know this could be triggering for people to hear. And
Explain the existing part.
it's what?
The existing. Why is there no existing?
Why is there no existing? Yeah, so what if someone asks you that? Why is there no existing?
You can't
Why is
explain
it
it. You can't explain it,
exactly?
because in order to explain it, that would be a story.
So what if someone says, but my twin flame is right there. They're real. I see them. They're running away. I'm doing all the stuff that I can possibly do, and my other friend got with their twin flame. What if they say that to you?
That's still just a story. No one knows what that is. No one knows what a twin flame is. Yes, it's just what's arising. And no one knows what's arising, and it's not even arising because that's even a story.
So when the person exists, this I call it the center. When the center exists, they see this person and they give it a story. They give it a twin flame story. But when that center is gone, that person's gone, it's just what's happening. It's just what's happening. There's no more story to it. There's no more good or bad. There's no more right or wrong. There's no more spirituality, twin flame, whatever it is. It's just what's arising because it's not happening to anybody anymore. It's just what's happening. And that's what we mean when we're saying it's just a story. Because you yourself are a story. And that's what we're talking about today. And it's so difficult to talk about. It's not easy to talk about. So let me see if there was any more questions. So there was just this person that left a message saying signs that you have a twin flame connection. It's telepathic, empathic, feeling at home, intense desire to merge, strong eye contact, unconditional love, shared divine purpose, mission, mirroring, and spiritual awareness.
That's all just the story, but apparently it happened. I mean, I had the whole eye contact thingy. You know, the moment I laid eyes on that person, I recognized them apparently right away. And I didn't know where it was coming from, but now there's this realizing that I don't even know what any of that stuff was and why it appeared to happen. But apparently in the story, mirroring can happen, telepathy can happen, eye recognition can happen. What else did it say on there?
Spiritual awareness. What else? Empathy. There's empathy.
Yes.
I did, also just to bring up, me and Shannon both had twin flames, you know, so it's not that we're actually against a twin flame story or saying it's a joke. I mean, we really went through the dark night of the soul. We went through it, it really did happen. But now we don't know what happened because there's no more seeking for that anymore. It's dropped. It's no, it was like this machine that was going on and I was chasing by myself. I don't know what I was doing. And I'm sure another twin flame can look at me and say, oh, wow, yeah, that's how it feels. It's like this, this like machine constantly just going after this person or spirituality, whatever it is. And we went through that. We went through all the purging, all the letting go, and then you think you let go of them, but you didn't. Then you see them again, and you have that energy come back, and it's like fear-based, and it's just constant. And we've both been through that. So it's not like we're talking from, oh, I think this story is not real. It's just a story. And the reason we're saying it's just a story because everything is a story. Everything is an illusion. And I think that's just one of the hardest illusions to let go of, because there's so much attachment there. There's so much hope. There's so much belief. The story's so big. It's love involved. It's the ultimate partner with a mission. It's just the dream of all dreams. And for me, it just collapsed and it was devastating. And I don't think about my twin anymore. I mean, it just doesn't occur.
Same.
And then in a way, there's a self-worth. There's a self, you would never It's like the thing that your twin flame did to you, you wouldn't let anybody do that to you again. Kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a self, this is worthy, you're not gonna be that desperate again
Yeah.
because there's a desperateness in it.
Well, there's no more seeking. There's no more
Wanting,
wanting and needing and seek that all kind of just falls off. And
yeah.
apparently that's what they say about the whole twin flame story is that you start to love yourself basically, and you put yourself first apparently, and that you know
Then
in
you
the
become
story,
neutral, right?
yeah, you become new apparently, yeah,
Okay, but that's also a story.
that's a story.
Yeah, that's a story too. So I don't know, Shannon. Some people can go to that phase of neutralness, and some people can be seeking all their life. I don't know. But what I mean, I can't say what I do know, but you being in a neutral state is also a story.
Yes.
You being in a place where you don't care is also a story. So we're talking about non-duality, the energetic shift that there is no self. Because when there's no self, how can the self be neutral? It just is what it is. There's no and I was there 6 months ago thinking, because I was neutral. And I was thinking, oh, this is an awakening. No, that's still not it.
Story. It's still the story.
It's still a story.
Um, you know, I didn't even realize that this apparent waking up even happened. It just is. And I don't know. It's you just I don't know.
How did so obviously the person doesn't recognize it because it's
There
not
is no
what you're not waking up to you're not doing nothing. You're just like you can't wake up to nothing because you
nothing.
die. So
Apparently, though.
was there anything that you would say like a moment where you realized that you weren't there anymore?
Well, the first time well, when realization first appeared to happen, um, everything looked new to me. Like everything was so like in my face. It was just raw, new, and I didn't know what anything was.
No.
There was no identification anymore. All anything that I ever, whatever I identified with in the story, that was no longer there. I just didn't know what anything was, and it was all just new. It's like when a newborn baby is born, all it sees is apparently the view. It just sees the view, and that's what it's like. It's like all you see is the view, and it's not even the view because that's even saying too much. I don't know what anything is. There is no explanation.
So you lost all
Knowing.
identification with everything. And
Yes.
that's why you lost
And
your
the
that's
twin
why you
flame
lost
story just went away. There was no more twin flame story. There was no more spirituality. There was no more religion. There was no more nothing. It was just, and it wasn't even nothing because I don't even know what that is. That's another story. But it's the
yeah.
only way to express and explain what any of this apparently is.
Because only the self can identify with something and make it a story and say, hey, you know what, this is a tree, that's a twin flame, that's all stories. And
Exactly.
we don't realize how far the story goes. Like everything. This is a mouse is a story, like it's everything.
Yes.
And when that center falls off or whatever you want to call, I don't know, I don't have the right words, but when you die or whatever, you can't identify anymore because there's nobody there to identify and make a story. So nothing's really happening because there's nobody to say it's happening to me or happening to them. So it's just nothing happening, but it appears to happen. So it's a very hard thing to talk about, but the twin flame story drops away because there's nobody there anymore. And I don't
It's
know.
fun to talk about,
It's
though. It's fun to talk about. And that's why we talk about it so much, because there are so many people on this apparent journey that are still seeking and reaching and wanting, hoping and waiting for the twin flame to appear, or, and honestly, once you get to a place where you just wake up and you realize that it was all just nothing anyways.
yeah. I
And
don't I don't I don't feel anything. I don't even remember. I don't. It's like a dream or something. Like
it's a
I
dream.
don't know. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like what? Like I mean, when you talk about it, I remember. Oh shit! Like you reminded me today that um yeah, man. I mean, I had a mission with him and stuff. I really hope that. Like I remember it now, but I just don't even know what happened anymore. Like it just
it's almost like we were living in a movie,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
believing that we were these like superheroes or whatever that are on a mission and are going to save the world and blah blah blah. I mean, really listen to that. Listen to that. I mean, and we were,
Now when I listen,
you know what I'm saying? We were actually talking about this to other people
yes,
that
yes.
probably didn't know what the fuck we were talking about. You're on a mission. What the fuck? It sounds crazy. It sounds like a movie, and I don't know why all those things appear to happen. I don't know why the song from Twilight appeared to happen all the day, appeared to play all the time on the radio. I don't know why that was the theme song for Twin Flames. I don't know why all these things happen the way they did, and that's just it. We want to know, we have to know, we want to seek out. And that's what gets us so caught up in this vicious cycle. It's like a dog chasing its tail. You're not getting anywhere with it because there is nowhere to go. This is it. This is it. And it's just what's arising, it's just what's appearing to happen. And even that's saying too much. But I do sympathize with the people that are still in the twin flame story, and because I was there. And once it's seen, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, you know?
I just remember my story got so big. There was marriage, there was mission, there was all these love and all. It was just like this thing that was growing out of control. And then one day I just fell into like a dark hole or a void and it just collapsed. It was completely devastating, but it was like it had to build up that high to just die or something, and it was, I mean, that's the way it happened for me. I don't know. Everybody has a different story, but it was super devastating because that story, and then a spiritual story too was devastating for me too. I was like, I'm going to reach enlightenment. You know, Nobody can be enlightened. There's nobody here, like, so it was, I don't know. I had a devastating story and it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I
That's
don't know
just
what to
it.
say.
What do you say, right? If there's really nothing to say, that's just it. Because to say something would be the story, anyways.
There's so many people that are watching non-dual videos right now, watching Kenneth, Jim Newman, Tony Parson, Emerson, and they've been on the spiritual path, and they've come to non-duality. They resonate with it, and we just want to leave an open space for those that are twin flames, because you don't have that space to really talk about that, because it's just, oh, spiritual path to this. What about the twin flames? I mean, this is a very unique topic, and it's a small group of us. And me and Shannon are here to talk to you guys about that and help you get through it. Shannon helped me get through it when I reached out to you. I'm like, are you dead yet?
I know, I'll never forget that.
You're like,
Me
hello,
off a
who's
little bit
this?
because I was like, huh? Because I didn't understand where you were. Well, there wasn't any understand. Yeah.
But yeah, you can call us and say the same thing. Are you dead yet? Um, but yeah, we're just here to speak about this. I don't know if you have anything to say, Shannon, before we
Well,
go. I think it's
what I realized was once realization appeared to happen here, once I apparently woke up, I realized that, oh my God, there is no such thing as twin flame. And no one's talking about it.
yeah,
No one's talking about it. And this story is just becoming this repeated, like never ending, like I said, a vicious cycle. And this needs to be talked about
yeah.
because once you wake up from the story, it's like, oh my God, what the hell? What the hell? What was all that?
What was I doing? I mean,
What
for
was all
me,
of it? Yeah.
for me, it was a heavy twin flame path and a heavy spiritual path. I mean, heavy. I was like, holy, okay, I can't tell you. And the waking up to realize I'm not getting enlightened. There's nobody here that's going to be enlightened. I'm not getting anything. And I'm not going to get my twin flame. Two devastating paths. And you're here really wanting to share with the twin flame community that there's no twin flame. It's a story. There's no spiritual conscious. It's not gonna, you're not, that's all a story. It's not gonna happen. And I know that sounds really rough, but that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, that too, the whole spirituality stuff and just everything, once I the person apparently wakes up and realizes that all of that was just the dream, was just an illusion. It's like, whoa, what the fuck just happened? Like, what the fuck just happened? All that seeking out, all that wanting to know to come to this.
Yeah, to nothing.
And you realize, look, one thing you do realize is, wow, I did the whole twin flame thing, went through the whole spirituality thing, and I was just trying to get to this certain place, and then boom, you wake up from it all. And this was where you were trying to get to in the first place, right? You were trying to, everything that you were looking for was already there. You were
You're like
seeking and reaching
running,
out.
running, and you're like, just show up to where you are or something. Like you
Yes,
just you're running nowhere. You're like
yes.
in a rabbit hole, just like boom, 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 boom.
And
And
the
then you're
whole
just
time you were just there. You were already
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
And that's what really like tripped me up is like, oh my God, I was trying so hard like to heal my chakras and to fucking align my soul and all this stuff. And for what?
I I don't know. I mean, sometimes it trips me up. It's like, why did it have to be like that? Why did it have to go so crazy like that? I mean,
Right?
I had like a huge sense of urgency. That seeking was like, it's insane.
And it's because of that one connection. I don't even know why. I don't know why this certain connection came along and then all of a sudden we became delusional.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Completely.
So to answer that
And
question about being delusional, right? In a way, it is kind of you are, but then you're not.
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
really don't know.
I don't know. For me, it just feels like a dream.
A dream,
But it feels like a dream. It feels like I don't know, I can't find it anymore. But I know what happened. Like I feel like
right?
I can't go back to the memory bank, but when it was happening, it was happening, and it was for real. But it just feels like a dream. It feels far away from me now. It's far away,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
know, or I don't know. It just feels like, but it was interesting,
It was
and
very interesting and beautiful too. Like a lot of things about it,
oh, it
with the
was so beautiful.
numbers and all that. I love the numbers, and apparently it still appears to happen. I just don't know what that is. I don't know what the meaning is, and I don't want to know what the meaning is because I really don't care because it doesn't have a meaning. It doesn't hold any weight. Yeah,
It
you could
still
go off of,
happens.
yeah,
I
and you could,
just
mhm,
before I used to make a story about it,
yeah,
right? And now it still happens, and it just like falls off. Like I don't have
yeah.
anything to say. You know, it's just, oh, okay, I see the numbers. Okay, that's it. Like there's no more. There's no story around it.
It's
That's
just
what
what
it is.
somebody else has already made up.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
go and look it up, but that's just what that person came up with. And
yeah.
you're believing in it like religion.
Hmm.
You're believing what that person said is you're believing that it's true, that it's an angel number, and that you have to reach certain levels or do this and that, and that's what that number means. But that's just an assumption.
That's just seeking again
Yeah,
because
it's
you have to
seeking.
get somewhere. There's nowhere to go. There's
Yes.
nothing. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to get. There's nowhere other than this,
It's just what's
and
happening.
that's, yeah. And this, the seeking is always trying to get you somewhere else, somewhere else, somewhere else. And there's nowhere else.
I know. People are probably like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they are, but maybe there's somebody out there that resonates, you know?
All I can say is just keep watching. This cannot be explained. It can't be explained because then it would be a story again.
Yeah.
It's unexplainable. There is no knowing. You can't know this. All you can do is watch it and watch it and watch it. And who knows? You might just wake up, apparently.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, who knows? And I don't even know what waking up is, but that's the only way to define
Yeah,
what it is. But that's
yeah.
even saying too much. I don't know. I really don't know.
It was so beautiful to talk to you
Yeah,
today.
this was nice.
It was really nice. And
We'll
I don't
talk
know,
again.
we'll do another one.
All right.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.